tell you about my best friend. He's a warm-hearted person who loved me till the end. People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy. People, let me tell you about him. He's so much fun, whether we're talking man to man or whether we're talking son to son, 'cause he's my best friend. Yeah, he's my best friend. La la, ba da da da, yeah, ba da da da, ba da da da, yeah.
So the first student submitted work is going to be this one you see on screen. It's a definition of extinction. So extinction means it's a species that has no more living members. So sums it up pretty well. That's exactly what extinction is. None of the members or the species are alive anymore. Here you could see is a student submitted definition of species, which is a group of organisms that can interbreed while having similar genes, which is a good one, but I would also include this, that they are able to produce viable and living offsprings that are fertile, which means they could have offspring of their own. One is this question which we had in our assignment, which is explain why the two fish on the right became different species. What kind of speciation is this? And this is actually a good answer too, except they didn't really answer what kind of speciation, but I'll tell you. They lived in two different areas and were separated long enough and were forced to breed with other animals. So I would put down that this is actually allopatric speciation, which is true because allopatric is when there is a physical barrier. So this is a good example of allopatric speciation, and since they were separated, they actually were breeding into different species. And if we could see on this one now, this question where it says why we can't create cat girls, and what kind of speciation that is, it's because our chromosomes don't match up, and it would have been sympatric speciation because our chromosomes are different. The number of chromosomes are different. Then also right here for the question 4, a winter hare breeds in early spring and a cottontail rabbit breeds in early fall. What kind of speciation? This is sympatric speciation. More specifically, it's going to be the mating seasons don't line up, so that's why it's sympatric speciation. So if you remember from this question, this is about the horses that are separated in a north and a southern one. What's really nice about this person's explanation is that they had for 2A and 2B, that for 2A, the northern horses, they grew larger because they have to keep their body heat. They have to basically stay warm, and the southern ones grew smaller because they have to keep cool. The nice thing about this is that it has these two different groups that adapted over generations differently, even though they came from the same population of horses, to better suit their environment. So these two groups of horse, the northern and the southern ones, they adapted to their environment, so what better suited their environment. That's why the northern horses became a lot bigger because they have to maintain their body heat in a cold environment, while the southern ones became a lot smaller because they had to adapt to lose or reduce their body heat because of their warmer environment. And it was also nice how this student explained why they would do it in the north and so why they would evolve or adapt in the north or the south, because they basically need to maintain body heat in the north, or they need to lose body heat or reduce body heat in the south. So that was a good explanation to why they evolved or they were created into new species this way. In this example, this is a good illustration or reasoning how they explained what happens to these two different populations. We have the East rabbits and the West rabbits. So the West rabbits unfortunately have a lot of foxes in their new environment, and they can't outrun the foxes, and they can't dig any holes to hide from the foxes. So just like the answer here, it's pretty simple. The East rabbits will increase population because they have no threats of predators, because there's nothing to change to their new environment, while the West rabbits, they have a new change in their environment, but they're not able to adapt to overcome it, so they will in fact decrease in population, and they will keep on doing that until they go extinct because they're not able to change to their environment. So for this question, the really important thing is that the rabbits couldn't adapt to their environment, so their population will decrease and decrease until they are extinct. This is a student example of an animal that went extinct just because of us, the human race, how we affected the environment, or this animal's environment. Essentially, that how we play a role in the world is either two ways animals could take it. Either they go extinct directly or indirectly because of our actions, or they're able to adapt and overcome our effect on the environment, and then they're able to still continue and live either as new species or the same old species that they were. But those are the only two options that they have. They could either go extinct because of us, or they could continue living or adapt and evolve because of us. So that's a recap of the student assignments that we did, hopefully to help you better prepare for this little mini test. And these are the 8 questions that hopefully you took away from it. It was mentioned at the beginning of the video, so it's just a little recap now. But yeah, these are the 8 questions that hopefully you now have answers to from the student work examples in this video. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. But if you still are a little confused on how these 8 questions were answered, I recommend to watch the video again. Other than that, if you feel like you're ready for the test, go on and take it. If not, we'll talk about it. All right, that's it. Have a nice day.